When I was young and blithe and free, I thought the world was wide. A 5-pound jar of raspberry jam, and I was the wasp inside. But something else has appeared in the pot in the shape of a mighty thumb, and it carries the jam to the gaping mouth of the great Panjandrum. When the great Panjandrum rings his bell, ting ting the people go. Whether to service or whether to sell, they meekly form a row. Now, is it his money, or is it his bearing, or is it his family? But the fact remains, it can't be brains, that he always gets there before me. When I was young and in poverty, I thought it coincidence. I knew I'd progress from my present distress as a matter of common sense. But the thumb that appeared in the raspberry jam is attached to a grasping fist that's covered with honey and smells of new money, belongs to a capitalist. When the great Panjandrum rings his bell, bring the people go. To invest in his shares and become millionaires, they meekly fetch their dough. He plays on their fears and weeps crocodile tears for their insecurity. Then he's off with the cash to cut a fine dash in the south of America. A picnic time for Panjandra. The little Panjandrums are having a business lunch today. Bollinger and caviar, and oh how glad they are that they don't have to pay. With Girl Friday on money, she's just the world for me, she never has any cares. At 5 o'clock it's time for taxis to take them home to rest, for their tired little teddy bears. When I was young and blithe and free, I thought the world was good. The jolly old priest was a matey old beast and as mellow as Christmas pud. But the grasping hand is attached to an arm that's dressed in a cleric's gown, and the aim is hardly so much to exalt as rather instead to grind down. When the great Panjandrum rings his bell, sing sing the people go. Whether to heaven or whether to hell, they meekly form a row. Now, is it his chanting or is it his order of infallibility? Without touching a wife through the whole of her life, he doubles her family. When I was young and blithe and free, I thought I'd go to law. Stopping a wrong from going on too long was what I thought it for. But at the end of the arm, at the end of the hand, I saw a mighty pit, and there was the jam being rubbed into the hairs, for many of them were split. When the great Panjandrum rings his bell, fling fling the people go. Their money flies over the inns of court and falls on the blokes below. Is it the one who solicits the one who solicits the great QC? But what claim remains goes down the drains, and all that is left is their fee. If you go down to the courts today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go down to the courts today, you'd better go get a rise. For every case that ever there was will get dragged in for certain, because that way's the way the teddy bears have their picnic. When I was young and blithe and free, I thought the prospect bright for the finding of suitable company to cheer my lonely night. But above the pit at the end of the arm is one of the thickest necks, and around it licking the raspberry jam are most of the opposite sex. When the great Panjandrum rings his bell, cling cling the girlies go. All of them blonde and none of them nondescript, waiting in a row. Now, is it his charm or his car or his trophies, or is it virility? But he must have some method of keeping them tethered, 'cause he always gets there before me. When I was young and blithe and free, I thought the world went round on principles of democracy, feet firmly on the ground. But the thickest of necks is attached to a mouth which incessantly sings this song: we are the ones who are always right and the others are always wrong. When the great Panjandrum rings his bell, dodgin the people go. They'd believe that a fez was a bird with no legs if he told them fortissimo. To paradise rarely can anyone go through the eye of 10 Downing Street, but if the idea appeals of Elysian fields, I should get him to save you a seat. Governing time for Panjandras, the little Panjandrums are having a shouting match today. One's been practicing on his yacht, and how he'd make it hot if the other one did move away. Look, there's Labour on the right, and almost out of sight the Tories uphold the law. And if there are any sexy pictures, the hog will root them out, and we'll never have no problems anymore.